Welcome back. I am Schwartz and I'll be improving a movie today. The Double O Kid is a PG-13 direct-to-video movie that predates Agent Cody Banks, starring a 23-year-old Corey Haim playing someone who is 17. You might remember Corey from The Lost Boys, The Watchers, or National Lampoon's Last Resort. The protagonist, Lance Elliott, is a summer intern at some place called the Agency. He fantasizes about espionage and intrigue while at home and at work. His boss, who hates him, gives him orders to rush a package to LA. He successfully delivers the package and is given a tip in return. An evil millionaire computer virus designer, Cashpot, played by Wallace Shawn of Princess Bride fame, and his Amazonian henchwoman, Rhonda, played by Brigitte Nielsen, of being a tall, hot, short-haired evil henchwoman in every movie she's in, fame, want security access hidden in a secret keycard. It's key to their plot to destroy the environment and kill lots of people because Cashpot believes that the world is overpopulated. Lance stays one step ahead of them, trying to avoid a visit to their bullshit video game of doom room, while enlisting the help of some random women, including Nicole Eggert of Baywatch fame, who plays Melinda, a burger server on skates. I loved this movie as a kid, so I thought I would watch it again to see what I liked about it so much. The most memorable thing to me was how rockin' I thought the opening music and credits were. So how would I improve the Double O Kid? Well, let's start with the opening credits, because it did not age well. The music is definitely highly derivative of the James Bond theme song, for obvious reasons, and it just so happens to utilize the same pitch of the X-Files whistle. You know, the one that goes like... So basically I'd have stuck to just a guitar in that song, and maybe some practical effects for the chessboard opening. Computer graphics were god-awful back then, and it shows. Next comes the title of the movie. Corey Haim was not 17 when he starred in this movie, and he seems to have an affinity for garbage coffee and truck stop burgers, so let's call it 00711 instead. He can still live at home because, to be honest, a lot of people still live with their mom at 23. Speaking of mom, she is played by none other than Karen Black of Invaders from Mars fame. I would also change up the level of violence in this movie. We've already changed the tone to have an adult protagonist, so why not? The villains all use Desert Eagles to do their covert missions, so let's see some practical blood work. Hell, at the beginning of the movie we see John Rhys Davies get killed by a video game that defies physics and vastly misunderstands how computer viruses work. Speaking of those cannons they are carrying around... Wait, no. No, those ones. At one point they put a teeny tiny silencer on one of those blasters that can kill you with the concussive force of just one shot, not to mention the bullet. Gun aficionados would get the gag that the movie was implying if it was in fact a joke. If not, why not just go ridiculously big or go home? And that chase scene with the rollerbladers from Dogma? Why not just let him set one on fire with that unlicensed pump-action water toy? And since we are in adult territory, let's get more Brigitte Nielsen in that leather dress thingy. She doesn't need to show more skin, but if she were charging at me naked wielding a two-handed sword, I wouldn't run. So you know what? Let's just throw that one in there. Chase scene with giant naked lady wielding bastard sword. What is a bastard sword, you might ask? Why, it's for bastards, of course. Take that one however you want. Also, this movie has a 21-year-old Nicole Eggert in a relatively tight outfit at work in the beginning, so why not just have her be the age she actually is so it's not so fucking weird? Next is that montage of Corey and Nicole's characters getting to know each other while incognito wearing peak early 90s attire. But honestly, it wasn't 90s enough. Let's give him more shoulders in the jacket and a neon pink beret. That's better. After they get captured, they are put to the test in the video game of Doom room, which might sound better as the video game Room of Doom, but that's being nitpicky. However, it was clear that the writers had no idea what a video game was or how kids even wasted their time on these confounded contraptions. If they just built a few arcade cabinets that shot poison darts or just straight up electrocuted their players like the one in Maximum Overdrive, or maybe a VR setup because it's the 90s and people's minds were being blown away by that high-res, ultra gaming software. Or hell, just make the whole setup look like the end part of Nickelodeon Arcade and have him dodge wacky 16-bit fireballs. I honestly would have been okay if they just had a guy dressed up as Mario that jumped out with a set of nunchucks and started wailing on Lance. In fact, that's now in the improved movie, and so is a gorilla that throws toxic waste barrels. Can't get too close to the source material, you know? The ending sees our protagonists escape, and the bad guys presumably die in a helicopter crash caused by a computer virus that they invented. Even though I want there to be more violence, I think it would have been better to have the helicopter land right next to the agency where Lance works and the evildoers get captured so you can set up a possible sequel. Actually, scratch that. Rhonda gets escorted. The virus takes hold again, reversing the helicopter blades, turning Cashpot into wet confetti. Then everyone gets covered in gore, and the heroes look at each other and chuckle, and then the credits roll. The end. And that's how you make the Double O Kid a fucking monstrosity. Good night, folks, and thanks for playing.